My name is Mathias, come from Sweden, but I've been living in Hong Kong for 11 years almost now. One of my greatest passion is actually what I'm working with. I'm so lucky. I work with wood and wooden products, and I'm really passionate about that. There is something about wood that is very special to me. I mean, it's a pure natural material. I mean, all you need to have wood is you need some sun, you need some water, and you need carbon dioxide. And I mean, we have plenty of that in the world. I mean, people talk so much about carbon dioxide and global warming and so on. And then we are just sitting on this fantastic renewable resource that is absorbing, actually eating carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. I mean, when a tree grows, they need the carbon dioxide. So the more trees we have and the more trees we grow, the better it will be for the environment. And then, of course, people might say, but why do you cut the trees down? But we do that because it's also good for the environment. Because when we cut it down and we use the wood in products, like we can build wooden houses or we can have wooden furniture, we are actually storing the carbon dioxide in those furniture instead of releasing it out to the atmosphere. If we don't cut the trees down, then they will eventually, like all living creatures, they will die, and then they will release the carbon dioxide again to the atmosphere. So it's like a zero-sum game in that. But if we cut down the trees and plant new ones, then of course we will have the carbon storage in the products we produce from the old trees, and we will plant new trees that will continue to absorb the carbon dioxide. So that's a win-win. And not only that, because after we have used our furniture for, let's say, 20 years, we can actually burn them for energy. Okay, then we release the carbon dioxide. But if we use that for heating instead of burning oil or burning fossil fuels, then we get another gain. So it's three times we can gain from using wooden products. My dream house is definitely a house only made of wood, but we'll see when that happens. But as you can see, glasses made of wood, phone coverage made of wood. I mean, you can do anything in wood. It's very lucky, right? That you can work with something that you really believe can be the solution to a lot of the problems that we have for the future. I love wood for so many other reasons. I mean, imagine that you have a piece of wood and you want to make it into a heart. I mean, all you need to make it with a piece of wood is a small knife, and you slowly carve it into a wooden heart. If you have a piece of metal or a piece of plastic, I mean, you need to heat it up to several thousand degrees and then form it in order to make the heart. But wood is so easy to work with. I mean, even kids. I mean, in Sweden, when we go to school already from second class, we start working with wood. We learn how to work with wood. I mean, I get very sad when I hear like people saying, or there was a slogan several years ago, save a tree, use PVC. But that makes me extremely sad because it's not correct. It's not correct as long as we can make sure that we treat our forests in a sustainable way. We also need to realize that we are landlords in the forest. We are landlords to the animals and to the plants and to the insects and to the birds that live in the forest. So it's not only that we need to have a sustainable forestry, we also need to make sure that when we go in and take out our valuable wood products, we need to make sure that these animals and plants and birds still can survive in the forest. And in order to do that, we have a lot of ways to manage the forest so that they can still survive even though we can take out the products that we need. I would encourage everyone who buys any product made of wood to check where does this wood come from. If everyone were performing the same kind of sustainable forestry all over the world as we are doing in Sweden, I mean, it would be a major contribution to the problems with global warming that we're having today. I'm a wood nerd, so I really think that everything should be made of wood. And I think you can make most things out of wood. Only the other day I was in India and saw a wooden car. Why don't we make our cars out of wood? Would be great to store carbon dioxide in your car. You can actually make also fuels out of wood through different chemical processes. We have today come very far where we can develop gasoline for cars and trucks out of different components from the tree. So that will be the future as well. Our cars will not only be made of wood, they will also have wood as their fuel. Can you imagine? I mean, you know what happens to a car, right? When it's worn out, they crush it and it becomes a lot of metal trash from it. A wood car could be burnt and used to heat your home. So after you have used your car, you will burn it and you will use it to heat your home. Wouldn't that be good? I'm probably one of the few foresters that you will meet in Hong Kong, I think. I have a mission in China to tell people these good stories and to actually being able to offer them a raw material that is really, really good for the environment. We need to make sure that illegal harvesting and harvesting without replanting, that will stop in the world. I mean, little by little we will change the attitudes, and if we change the attitudes, we will also change the behavior of people. Eventually will lead to that consumers, factories in China will become very concerned about this and actually only use wood that comes from really good sources. I mean, being brought up in Sweden, I mean, we are not many people in Sweden. We have a lot of forests. We can go out and walk in the forest every day. Of course, those possibilities are not the same when you live in Hong Kong. It's very crowded here, for sure, but I don't know. Somehow I can live with it. Somehow I get a lot of energy from being in Hong Kong. Every time I've been to Sweden, I thoroughly enjoy going to Sweden. I experience the forest in Sweden now in a much different way than I did before when I lived there. Now when I come into a Swedish forest, where I can smell the forest in another way. I guess I took it for granted before, but not anymore. So that makes my experience of going to Sweden actually much better now than when I lived there. And at the same time, when I come back to Hong Kong, I feel that it gives me energy. The pulse in the city, all the people, it gives me a lot of energy, so I can work harder and sell more wood. What I feel is a little bit sad is that, you know, everything when you look around you, it's only steel and concrete and asphalt, and I mean you don't see a lot of wood here. That's a pity, I think, and wood is not really on the mind of the normal Hong Kong person, I think. If you compare it to any other construction material, for example, wood has a good story to tell. I say that wood is better than everything.